Let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're breaking down Napoleon Hill's absolute powerhouse of a philosophy on why so many people fail and how you can build just unstoppable persistence. Seriously, take a second and think about it. Do you see a winner when you look in the mirror? Or maybe it's someone who's kind of buried their dreams under a massive pile of excuses and I'll do it tomorrows. Look, if you're constantly wondering why you start things with a bang but just can't seem to finish them, well, you're definitely not alone. We're gonna figure out how to snap that rusty padlock off your mind that's been holding you back for years. And when you look at the actual numbers, the reality is honestly a bit shocking. 97% of people are completely trapped in this endless loop. They wake up pumped, right? High hopes, but by the afternoon, they're just manufacturing excuses, and they go to sleep wrapped up in regret. Their whole potential is just suffocated by 3 little words. I'll start tomorrow, but we're not focusing on them today. We're looking at the other 3%, that tiny, rare slice of the population who stay completely calm even when a massive storm is raging around them. And spoiler alert, they don't have a magic lamp. What they have is a rock-solid system. Moving into section 1, the motivation illusion. We really need to expose this monster because before we can unlock the secrets of that top 3%, we have to talk about the psychological trap holding your dreams hostage. There is a massive, massive difference between the fleeting dopamine rush of fake motivation and actual, true discipline. It is so easy to get hooked on that cheap motivational high. You watch a hype video, the dopamine hits, and suddenly you're gonna conquer the world by Tuesday. But by day 3, the hype wears off, your body is tired, the road looks long and just plain boring, and quitting feels so incredibly tempting. But the 3%, the highly successful people, they don't magically get more than 24 hours in a day. What they have is the ability to embrace the boredom. They trust their systems, not whatever mood they happen to be in. When their brain says, hey, let's skip today, true discipline roars back and says, no way, this is the exact moment we leave the crowd behind. We've all been here, haven't we? Think about that classic student trap. Step 1, you draw up this grand, impossible timetable. Step 2, you study like a maniac for 10 hours straight for 2 days. Step 3, this totally false sense of satisfaction kicks in. Step 4, oh look, a tiny distraction. And boom, step 5, you quit and go right back to your old average routine. Honestly, this lack of consistency, it's not just a bad habit. It is the slow, agonizing crushing of your own spirit. Every single time you break a promise to yourself, you're knocking down a brick of your own self-confidence, until eventually you just kind of stop believing in yourself altogether. Napoleon Hill nailed this perfectly in his book. He said, desire is the seed, but persistence is the water. It makes so much sense, right? Without the relentless water of persistence, that initial little seed of desire is just gonna dry up. It'll never grow into that massive tree of success you're hoping for. The 3% know that waiting around to feel inspired is a total fool's game. They bring the water every single day. All right, section 2, the 7 principles of persistence. Let's dig into this legacy and see how these foundational rules actually act as the absolute cure for inconsistency. Think of this as your personal blueprint for the 3% club. Let's run through them. Number 1, definiteness of purpose. Just saying, I want to be rich is totally hollow. But saying, I'm going to earn 100 grand for my business in the next 12 months, now that is concrete. Number 2, a well-organized plan. Break those giant, scary goals into tasks so tiny it's literally impossible to fail. Writing a book? Don't stress the whole thing, just commit to 200 words a day. Number 3, persistence through failure. Look at failure as a strict teacher, not a defeat. Number 4, the mastermind group. Surround yourself with minds sharper than your own who will pull you upward. Number 5, the power of your subconscious. Plant seeds of success daily, or trust me, the weeds of doubt are going to grow automatically. Number 6, quick decision making. Successful people decide fast and change their minds slowly. Unsuccessful people, they take weeks to decide and then flip-flop in seconds. And finally, number 7, action over overthinking. Overthinking is just mental paralysis. The second you take that first physical step of action, half your fear literally evaporates. And hey, this isn't just about money. Consistency is basically a universal law where tiny daily actions snowball into massive, life-altering transformations. Just look at the math on wealth. Getting just 1% better every day makes you 37 times better by the end of the year. 37 times. With health, a simple 10-minute walk every day compounds over decades into a youthful, active old age. Or self-growth, reading just 10 lines a day, that means you've absorbed the knowledge of an entire book over a year. Your brain is hardwired for comfort and it will beg you to stay in bed, but you have to become the commander of your own soul, not a slave to your moods. Let's jump to section 3, the Artisan's Temple. To really wrap our heads around this compounding power, there's this amazing metaphorical story from the source material about an artisan who decided to build something incredible. So this artisan decides he wants to build a magnificent golden domed temple on the absolute highest, steepest hill in his village. When he announced it, the villagers just laughed at him. He had zero money, no giant tools. But he made one very simple rule for himself. Every single morning, before the sun even came up, he carried one single medium-sized stone up that mountain. After a month, there were just 30 stones. The village mocked him. After a year, it was just a messy pile of rocks, no shape at all. But he kept going. 5 years later, the village wakes up and the sun is gleaming off this breathtaking golden dome. When they asked him how on earth he pulled off this impossible feat, he just held up his rough, bloodied hands and revealed his secret. It's not magic, it's math. One stone daily. That's the thing about greatness. It's not one giant explosion. It is the result of thousands of tiny, relentless strikes. Okay, moving to section 4, the 90-day challenge. We've talked philosophy, now we're shifting to pure execution. Because just knowing this stuff isn't gonna cut it, you actually have to do it. Here is a totally structured 90-day challenge to completely rewire your brain. This right here is your escape route from the 97%. Phase 1, that's days 1 to 30. This is habit formation. Pick your habit and give it just 5 minutes a day. Literally, if there's a hurricane outside, you still show up for those 5 minutes. You aren't worried about the results yet, you're just proving to yourself that you can show up. Then phase 2, days 31 to 60, identity change. You stop saying, oh, I'm trying to read more, and you start saying, I am a reader. You become the action. And then phase 3, days 61 to 90, momentum magic. By this point, you don't even have to force it anymore. You are an unstoppable train barreling down the tracks at 100 miles an hour. Your consistency is just completely on autopilot. Time is silently ticking away, right? It chips away at your potential every single passing day. So whenever you feel like quitting, just remember this contrast. The discipline it takes to carry your stone today, you can measure that in grams. It's a small, totally manageable effort. But the regret that the 97% feel later in life, that agonizing, I really wish I had just kept going feeling, that is an unbearable, crushing weight measured in tons. It's a bitterness that honestly goes way deeper than any physical pain ever could. So, you're standing at a crossroads. You can choose the familiar, comfortable path of excuses, or you can take the lonely, sometimes painful, but incredibly glorious path of the 3%. I want to leave you with this one vital thought. The sun is going to rise tomorrow, whether you change your life or not. But will you be the exact same person, or are you going to take the wheel of your own destiny? Will you carry your stone today? Seriously, grab a journal, shut down that little voice of hesitation, and lay the first stone of your temple right now. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.